So about 16 months ago, Google launched a campaign, an initiative. They wanted to find a test site for the Google Fiber experiment, and they promised to have the fastest internet in the world. I remember being at work and seeing that come across my RSS feed and thinking, wow, there's going to be some city that is really lucky. And I went on with my day, and I didn't think much more about it. And then later that night, I was talking with my husband, Brandon, and he had also saw it, and we thought, you know, that's really pretty cool. And again, didn't think anything about it. The next morning, I show up at work, and I'm on Twitter, and a guy that was living in Topeka challenged me. He said, Alissa, you and Brandon should bring this to Topeka. I know you like to get involved and do things to try to make Topeka a better place. What better thing would it be than to bring fastest internet in the world to Topeka, Kansas? And if you know me, I'm a super competitive person, and so that was really all I needed to say, hey, let's make this happen. Little did I know at that time, Jared Starkey was somewhere across town, didn't know the guy at all, but he was starting a Facebook page. And within a couple of days, I got on that Facebook page. At the time, I was number 48. And we decided, oh, we should have a meeting, and let's really try to make a campaign out of this and see what we can do with it. I think the first meeting, we had about 15 people show up, and we decided, okay, we are all internet nerds. How are we going to get the rest of Topeka to understand why it's important to have the fastest internet connection in the world? What can we say that's going to get them to go online and spend 5 minutes nominating Topeka? Because we knew, you know, it's great. Any community could get probably 15 or 20 people to go and fill out this nomination form. We needed a lot of people. And you know, like I'm thinking, trying to relate it to my dad. Would my dad care if he has fast internet speed? He thinks it's fine where it's at. So we sat down and decided that there was 4 things that we need to have as clear calls to action. 1, go nominate Topeka. 2, email your city council person or elected official and let them know that you thought it was important for them to get behind it. You know, we were a bunch of internet kids. We didn't have any connections with the local government or any of the local power, and they weren't going to listen to us. Why should they listen to us? 3, go tell a friend. 4, join our Facebook page, because, you know, it's cool. Our initial goal was to get 1,000 people on our Facebook page. At the height of the campaign, we were at about 17,500. We had no idea that once we started this campaign in Topeka that it was going to take off. People got excited. They were hearing about new leadership. They were hearing about leadership in new ways. We really opened it up and said, you know what, if you want to do something for Think Big Topeka and you want to make sure that we get the fastest internet in the world, go do it. Don't feel like you need to come to us and run some idea by it. Just go for it. Come back to us. We'll put it on the internet for you, and we'll help try to promote it. If you have a great idea, post it. We'll see if we can get some people behind you and help you carry that effort out, all in the name of Think Big Topeka. And people really responded well to that. They didn't have to show up and go to a meeting to participate. They could go to any number of events that we had all over town at all different times. We tried to make sure that they were age-friendly. Everything from a flash mob at a community meeting. They were expecting about 200 people. We were handing out Think Big Topeka t-shirts as they were coming in. We ended up giving away 300 t-shirts that day, and when the appropriate signal came, we actually had more than half of the audience stand up and basically say, you know, we want to have fast internet in Topeka. One of the things that I think became a game changer for us was when Ryan Gigas posted on the Facebook page, wouldn't it be cool if we changed our name to Google? I am good friends with Ryan, and that idea actually goes back a couple of years, but this was the first time where I was like, hey, this really makes sense. Through the use of Twitter and Facebook and emails, within about 48 hours, that was in motion. The city council called a special meeting for it. One of our good partners with WIBW Media had some connections with the city council and made sure that the proclamation got in very quickly. And at the time, we were thinking it would be great if we could just get them to change it for one day. And then Ryan and I are on the phone, and we're saying, one day? Well, if we change it for one day and that's all we're asking for, then they may say no. What if we ask for a week? Then they'll give us a day. I remember 3 hours later getting a phone call saying City Council has changed the name to Google Kansas for the entire month of March, and thinking, holy crap, I think we figured something out. The next day, I was at the county commissioner's office working with them on the governance side of the RFP process to fill out their nomination. You know, the average person's nomination form was about 15 questions. The government side was like 25 pages. And so we were sitting down and making sure, we want to make sure that the city's nomination form and the county's nomination form looked very similar, so we could show to Google we were willing to work together. I remember getting a first call from the Associated Press and not really having a really clear idea of what that was going to do for us. Little did I know, within the next 48 hours, Topeka/Google Kansas was going to be in the national news. We were on CNN. I was excited because we were on Mashable, we were on Gizmodo. You know, my parents had no clue what that was. The thing that made our campaign so successful, though, was we struck early and we got that national attention. So then, throughout the rest of the campaign, until February 26th, when they locked down the nominations, anytime any other community did something, they always compared it back to Google Kansas. So we were constantly in the national and international press. The other thing that I think that we did that was so well is that we really utilized social media to open it up to allow anyone to participate. And in the height of things, I considered my role to kind of be like a switchboard operator, because people were posting all the time, you know, like, wouldn't it be great if we did this? Or, hey, I've got some stuff that I'd like to donate, or I have got time, how can I volunteer? So at any given time, I had a running list that was, you know, photographers that wanted to volunteer, people with good ideas, people that just wanted to help. And my job was to go through and say, okay, these two people, this idea, this photographer, go. Because at the end of the day, we could go out and do all sorts of things, but if we didn't document it and get it on the internet, Google didn't know. And so I had this entire team that we were all working together. You know, before the campaign, we didn't know each other. Now, 16 months later, these are some of my best friends. You know, Casey Clark came up with Think Big Topeka. Mark Lamone took the Human Google Project, where we sent 500 people down on the ice after a Roadrunners hockey game, and we spelled out the word Google. You know, that was one of the initial ideas that got posted out there by someone, and we all thought it'd be, oh, so cool, how can we do this? No one quite knew how to pull it off. Mark has a military background and is going to actually be deploying in a couple of weeks, and he stepped up and said, I can do this, but I need 8 walkie-talkies. I immediately went to Twitter and I said, we have this great idea, I need 8 walkie-talkies. Within 45 minutes, I had 18 walkie-talkies lined up. If we had any type of a need, you went to Facebook, you went to Twitter, you said, you know, here's what we're looking for. We had people step up and donate banners. We had people donate radio time, airtime on TV. The local weather stations bought in on it, and so everyone was talking about, and today the weather in Google, Kansas is. Topeka really, I think we turned a corner. You know, we sort of had this older mentality. People didn't understand social media. They thought it was something for their kids or their grandkids. They didn't understand the power behind it and the things that we could do to really kind of change the world. And with this campaign, it's really allowed young professionals in town to step up and have a voice. And the best example of the way that sort of local governments picked up on what we're able to do, you know, last week, for the first time, we took a city budget forum, which before would get maybe 20 people that would show up in a room, and we opened it up. We streamed it live on the internet. We fielded questions through Facebook and through Twitter. And the local government officials looked around, and, you know, I mean, it was a first effort. It wasn't like lights out successful, but it was successful because conversation continued after 8 o'clock when we started. And I think this is a sign of things to come and ways that Topeka is going to continue to get better. Thanks for having me, and hi to all of my friends at JHP.